After watching it 3-4 times now at this point, had a chance to watch it. Honestly, as bad as the score was, there's a lot more positive than I thought. I'd love to take the first 6 minutes of the game and do it over again because we just played so bad, whether it's the environment or inexperience or all the above. We just did so many things wrong to get ourselves into such a huge hole that it changed the entire day. But once we finally settled down, we actually played really, really well at times and played really physical up front on both sides of the ball. We had more lost yardage plays, defensively than they had against us. That was something we were really concerned about going in, was trying to make sure we stayed ahead of the chains. And so for our defense to be able to create more lost yardage plays than Alabama's defense, that was a small battle that we thought we had to win that we did. I thought our wideouts played extremely physical on the edges on our perimeter throws, and it allowed us to move the chains at times. Thought our battles on the inside with our slot receivers on their backers, we did a really good job at winning in those situations most of the day. And then to get two third and short stops against one of the most powerful offensive lines in the country, our defense was able to get 2 third and short stops, which is really, really difficult to do. So there was some positive, just too many mistakes early, and created an opportunity, a situation where we really weren't in the game. So it was at that point just trying to improve, and we actually did in a lot of areas. Not into moral victories, but we're at a point now where we got to get better, and those were the things that stood out throughout the course of watching it 2 or 3 times. And I thought the team handled the meetings yesterday and just the whole purpose of trying to learn and improve and go out and practice was really, really solid. Really, really pleased with how they responded. The next challenge, faces is to travel on the road and win a game on the road. I think every team is different. This team is still as talented as I think it really is. It's still inexperienced in a lot of places, and we've got to learn how to go on the road and win. It doesn't matter what last year's or the teams before that have done. This group's got to learn how to do that. And Tulsa will be a tremendous test. They run a system very similar to ours offensively. It's going to spread you out, put a lot of guys in space. Luckily our defense sees it every day, or at least a version of it. And so hopefully they can draw from that, the experience they get from playing against our offense. But defensively, we're going to see something completely unique. And just what they've chosen to do defensively is very different than what we've seen from our defense and from anybody that we've seen up to this point. And that will be unique for us and a challenge to figure out how to defend it or to attack it and what it's going to do to us in terms of our decision-making. But, all in all, I think we're still at a point where just learning how to play our best football consistently is still the challenge. We still just make too many unforced errors, and it happened especially early in this game last week, and we've got to get beyond that and play cleaner football to play our best, and we just haven't gotten that done 2 weeks in a row.
Inconsistence, probably the number one thing that comes to mind. As an offense last night, we watched 31 clips of plays that we either had high execution or poor execution, and I think we had 80-something snaps. We watched 31 of those, and the other ones were just a wash. Either they made a really good play or we got a 2 or 3 yard gain or whatever it may be. But the 31 plays, I think there was 20 highly executed football plays, and then we had 11 that were poorly executed plays that we've got to find a way to eliminate those. And if those 11 are just washes, there's a different outcome throughout the course of the series or the half or whatever it may be. So those are things that we have to eliminate, is the ones where it's just poorly executed play, and and then that's not counting the penalties that we've obviously got to eliminate, with the false starts that we had. We got to cut that out. But that's the number one thing that, came to mind, after the game, was the plays that we executed at a high level, and then the ones that we just were extremely poorly executed. We got to eliminate that.
Obviously, we're disappointed. I would say that we did a lot of good things. As I told the defense after the game, we've been talking about since spring, trying to grow, and we've been going through some growing pains. We had some in the first game, and then we obviously had some in this game here. We did not execute at times. But I do think that our game plan was good. When we did execute it, I think that we were on point. I think if you call and ask Alabama that, they'll tell you that. But you know, the miscues that we had were some of the same things that, you know, that we've had before. That was communication. And, you know, those things have just got to get better. I mean, it wasn't necessarily our older players. It was our younger guys or guys that doesn't have as much experience. And so, you know, we talked about it yesterday. We worked on it yesterday. We'll continue to work on it throughout the week. You know, I think that obviously there's some matchups in that game that were difficult for us. But I think that, you know, we knew that, and, you know, we played to it. And, you know, outside of, I mean, they had 599 yards. So we went back yesterday and we looked, and 310 yards of the 599 were either because of a missed tackle or lack of execution on a particular call that we had. And when you do that against a team, well, against anybody, you don't give yourself a chance to win. And but there were a lot of positives, and that's what we have to take from it. You know, I mean, the negative is that we lost and we didn't perform like we should have performed. But, you know, in this game, I mean, it's hard to win. And you got to find something positive from it. And I think that we found that, and we tried to point out those positives along with the negatives yesterday. And we've got to move forward. I mean, the most important game is this next game, and it's coming up this Saturday. So we have to move forward from it and learn from it.